It's 10:42. What you gonna do when you're living in a zoo? I moved to a park, and I'm hardly a shark. But when it comes to astrology, I could be just like Tony Stark. Look, hey guys, everyone, it's really 10:22, 10:42. I did not joke around about that. It's January 29th. It's been almost 24 hours since I've seen this movie that I have on my screen here. It's just a trailer. I hope I don't get in trouble with the copyright police about this. But here, I want to go over this. I want to go over, before I start my podcast and talk about things, that astrology kind of stuff. And because I don't know, an astrologer put me off, and I'm going to settle the score and let you know that having clairvoyancy isn't a chore. I'm going to show you so easy. I am going to show you so easy to understand this whole entire clairvoyancy thing. Because we're all on a path. We're all going somewheres, and we're all on this planet doing it together, okay? This is the score. Clairvoyancy isn't a chore. Karma is what we're all undergoing and having to overcome, right? It's probably my greatest childhood lesson, undergoing and overcoming. So here we are. I want to share with you what clairvoyancy is, and I want to get into that predictive astrology with you, and I want to give you the same kind of insight that I have, okay? I want to give you the same kind of hindsight, okay? I want to give you the same kind of clear thought about what I have, and understanding while I'm watching a movie. I mean, I didn't make the movie. I didn't know that my roommate and I would decide on watching the movie. I didn't know about the time. I didn't think about any of this, right? Or did I? But after I saw the movie, I decided, let me look where the moon is. Because the moon timing in our life, and understanding the moon timing of events, is clairvoyancy, okay? It's understanding the light of consciousness provided by the Father in our mortal shell ruled by the moon. And our astrological birth chart. Am I really putting a lot of astrologers off that I'm willing to spill the beans and share with you how you can actually have clairvoyancy with your day-to-day tasks and understand why you're undergoing or overcoming a situation? This is the whole entire podcast, right? This is what astrology, everyone's looking for some kind of prediction. And the astrologers are not telling you. Why are they saying that? You want to work with me? It's not work, folks. It's not work. If you know your chart, you can figure out your moon timing, right? You wake up every single day, the moon is there, just bend over and show it to everyone. Even those guys over there, right? So let's look at this, okay? Last night, my roommate and I decided to watch this movie. I didn't get into the whole, we were just looking at different titles, right? And I know that my roommate likes, action movies and stuff that's kind of like has suspense and whatever. My roommate is a Saturn-Venus person, okay? So to understand that part, I understand a lot about the different kind of movies the person will agree with, right? So here I am, me being a sun and a Mercury ascendant, right? I'm a solar sun, right? My sun is at 2 degrees 34 minutes, right? Here is the date they released the movie, all right? They released the movie on March 27th. Holy cow. Check this out. I have a chart set for 12 p.m. Ottawa. And the reason why I have this chart is because Ottawa is the closest major city to the park, right? That they filmed the thing in, right? If I could just get rid of this thing. Here we go. So this is the park, Notre Dame. And Notre Dame. You know, it's funny about this because here I am. I graduated in South Bend, Indiana, and where is South Bend, Indiana, right? Where did my dad work for? My dad worked for St. Joseph's Medical Center. The university is Notre Dame, and then there's Queen Mary. Then there's Mary, right? I think that's Mary. But yeah, but the understand that St. Joseph Medical Center was associated with Notre Dame University, and that's where my father worked, right? And that's where I graduated from high school. And here I graduated from LaSalle High School, and you're never gonna get it. The LaSalle, their mascot was the lion, right? And here I am, Leo, and here I am, the guy that won the intramural contest from a poster I bought in Canada. What I did is I bought this poster, and I took it from Grandma's. I went up to go see Grandma's, and I got this poster. I said, "This is what I'm going to do for the intramural. I'm going to win this thing, right?" And I did. I won the thing. It was by vote of the school. The entire school voted on it, right? They voted everyone voted on which mural was the best. And of course, it was mine. So here I am. I want to share you an intramural about your life right now, okay? Through this film that was filmed in Canada called The Decline, okay? You go watch the film if you want. It's on Netflix, right? It's what we're subscribed. We pay the premium, this is what we do. So, our entertainment is somewhat satisfied, right? And basically, I'm there, we watched the thing. It's an action thriller. I had no idea. And I want to show you this. This is the chart right here. This is the release chart of this movie right here, okay? This is going to give you clairvoyancy. This podcast, because what's happening right now? How do you want to understand this, right? I'm going to show you this because everyone online, every astrologer's online, they're talking to you about it, but they're not giving you the meat and potatoes I'm willing to give you because everyone's got to get attuned real fast to the Father because holy cow, those who are attuned to clairvoyancy and their karmic situation, their argument, what are you arguing about over? Everything is about the trade. Everything's about the daily trade. Every war, everything is about the daily trade, and everyone's going to get sharp really quick. There are over 3.5 billion versions of me. I'm a guy, right? And there's 3.5 billion guys just like me, and if your clairvoyancy isn't with me by the end of this night, well, I'm sorry. You just gonna have to figure it out. Okay? Here we go. Let's talk about clairvoyancy. Let's talk about your birth chart. Let's talk about the argument you're having right now, okay? The argument that you're having right now. Let's talk about clairvoyancy, okay? Let's talk about tuning in to everyone, right? And through one film. And by one person that is willing to stand forward, myself, and give you the reason why I understand the action, the event of what I was viewing on my television through a digital source that I didn't plan on 12 hours beforehand. It was a last minute conversation. It's a conversation to iron out the entertainment for an hour and a half, the escapism, the visual escapism through the pineal gland, through the, your mind, your eye. And what is the universe willing to share with you? Because what we're going through now and the daily tasks that we have now is much different than what was happening 248 years ago when Pluto and all of his underworld was through the revolutionary sign of Aquarius, okay? While he was traveling through this, I mean, it's 248 years, right? Everyone's talking about Pluto. I'm going to show you Pluto right now with one single film, okay? Pluto is this guy we're not supposed to worship or honor, okay? He's this death dude, right? You can't gain the whole world and lose your soul, right? This is Pluto. Now let's talk about the guy, okay? Let's talk about this guy right now. This is the release date of Pluto. He's at 24 degrees. 24, that magic number 24, you know that spiritual reference of 24. He's at 24 degrees Pluto in Capricorn, right? The sign of the sickle, okay? It's the sign of the sickle. There's Jupiter illuminating Pluto, right? Jupiter is expanding on Pluto, right? Right there on the release date of this film. Mars is not too far away in Capricorn. Here we got Pallas Athena coming from behind. And then Saturn, where is Saturn? Saturn is only minutes from the Jupiter and Saturn conjunction. But where did Jupiter go? The Jupiter hasn't caught up with Saturn yet. Jupiter is the motion picture, okay? The picture. What is the picture? Picture's the moon, right? Because Cancer rules the water, right? That's why Cancerians are so hung up on pictures, right? That's why that's why people in Cancer and Pisces, these kind of people, they're all hung up on this. And look where the moon is for the release. It's at 13 degrees Taurus. Jupiter's not that far away. Jupiter, when he turned direct, wasn't that far away from where Uranus was on the release date of this film. Okay? Now, we're going to look at this. We're going to look at this really good because this Saturn position is very important. And why is this? Because this release date, 2020, this release date is, what is it? It's Aries. It's 7 degrees Aries. It's that solar year thing, right? This is the solar year. This right here is the solar year. It's the last 9 months before the Capricorn month starts again. And, the Capricorn starts again. Basically what we're talking about is January 1st, right? It's the last 9 months. The film is released in the first quarter of the year. But most importantly, Jupiter is about ready to catch up to Saturn and do his conjunction thing, his Jupiter-Saturn conjunction thing. That happens at 0 degrees Aquarius. This is it, guys. It's the motion, right? Until there's no more motion. If you watch the film, you look for the motion. What is the motion doing? Jupiter is the motion. Saturn is the timekeeper. Saturn is when you come in and when you leave. The timekeeper, okay? And look where the node is. The node is at 2 degrees Cancer, okay? It's like semi-sextile. The node here is actually semi-sextile, my sun and my ascendant. But most importantly, my grandma's ascendant, right? Because without my grandma, I couldn't be here, right? In Canada, Oshawa, right? That's where she was born. So here we go. We're looking at this beautiful 7th house here, right? We look at this whole entire 7th house of Saturn, which is ruled by Venus and Saturn. And then we look at Capricorn on the ascendant, right? And there's this 13 degree. The release date I have is 13 degrees Cancer. It's conjunct my Mercury. We're going to show you this whole entire clairvoyance thing tonight. We're going to show you and prove to you that if an astrologer tells you cannot be clairvoyant with astrology, they're full of sack of you-know-what. Because I'm going to show you clairvoyancy tonight, guys. I'm going to show you clear freaking thought, right? This is what I'm going to show you tonight. People want to lie and steal from general public and say that something's not possible with clairvoyancy. Because I'm going to show you the secrets of astrology tonight you never saw before, right? Because the Father is absolutely talking right through me. Now, let me show you this. Because I'm born in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. And I'm telling you, I have a way with this land. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you some stuff here. I'm going to prove my point. Okay? Here we go. This is my actual birth chart right here. Okay? This is the actual birth chart, okay? This is when I was born. 1 minute, 55 degrees Gemini. 1 minute. I have a very sensitive Gemini nerve. I see everything, right? I look wherever my mind is focused, that's what I see, okay? This is Gemini, right? I could be scattered or I could be focused. I'm a Gemini ascendant. But when I'm focused, there's like no other focus sign than Gemini, okay? Here we go. And it's a whole entire Aquarius thing. It's a whole entire Gemini nerve. It's a whole entire pineal gland thing you want to know about. Because that's a clairvoyance thing, okay? Let me show you this. Because I'm going to show you this really quick. I'm going to show it to you really easy and get it over with. And you're going to understand when you go through an event, or before you go through that event, how to have clairvoyancy about how that event is going to go and how it could go or how bad it could go, right? About, we're all in this timetable and events are happening that we cannot control, but incarnations our incarnations are there to do a job. Okay, I'm going to show you this right now. It's my job to show you this. That's why I'm coming to you right before midnight, right? My clairvoyancy is looking in the dark. Now look, I want to show you this right here. I'm born. See how I'm born? Here in St. Catharines, Ontario, not too far from where the Stuarts landed and built the first church on the shores of Ontario. I'm going to show you this tonight. This is my church. This is my hall. This is my call. I'm not here to have a fall. I am not here to have fall whatsoever, guys. I'm going to show you how to avoid the fall. Okay? Now look, here we go. Avoiding the fall is watching the moon. Okay? So when I was born, look at how most of my planets are below the horizon. I have a social moon, and I have a social Saturn, and I have a social node in the 12th house, okay? Look at this. This is how it is. My moon is at 26 degrees 49 minutes Pisces. This is where my moon is. So you can look where everything is. You can see how this film release was actually conjunct my Mercury almost perfectly, right? It's almost perfectly. Perfectly. You can see this right here. Mercury, 13 degrees, 49 minutes. Cancer, okay? You look at the decline. Here's the decline. Here's the film. This is the release date right here. 13 degrees, 47 minutes. 2 degrees out. 2 minutes out. Can you see how much my father's son I am? I'm just like Shazam. I'm kind of like a ram. And I know how life likes to jam. Okay, now here we go. I'm going to show you this. It's going to be so amazing, guys. You're going to love this, okay? So here is my natal chart right here. There's that fifth house element, right? There's a Venus, Pluto, and Uranus. Okay, that's the fifth house element. There's a Virgo overlap. There's the Virgo right here. Here's Leo inside here, like so. You can see how it all sets up. There's a Virgo right there. 4 degrees, I think. The IC is right there. Where's the IC at? Look at that. IC is 650. 650, right? 6 degrees. There it is, right there. The sun, everything sits there. And then here's this fourth house cusp thing. The fourth house cusp is pretty much, the fourth house cusp is pretty much right there, 4 degrees, right? Or the fifth house cusp is pretty much 4 degrees Virgo, okay? Then my Venus is there. You could count the things here if you want to count them to see how it works. Because this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 7 degrees in, okay? That's how it works. And there's Pluto. Pluto is where on my chart? You can see where Pluto is. Okay, Venus is at 10, right? 10 degrees Virgo. Pluto is at 18 degrees 47 minutes, okay? So, last night I was watching this film. And what is this film about? It's about the decline, okay? But at the same time, it's a very tricky film. And, you go watch the film, and that's what I'm suggesting for you to do. You go watch the film. This is what I want you to do. This is the astrological clairvoyancy share, okay? You go watch the film. You look at the time when you start watching it. Okay? This is exactly what the Father's telling you to do. You go after you listen to my voice, right when you have the first chance to sit down and watch this movie, right when you start watching the movie, you look at the watch and you write down the time, okay? Write down the time, and then when you're done watching it, you write down the time again. And then what you do, if you're going to be like me, what you're going to do is you're going to look at this chart right here. This is the chart of about what time I started watching, when I started watching the decline. I started watching the decline around midnight. Around midnight, we decided to watch the decline, okay? This is what I did. 17 degrees, 38 minutes. It's in the 11th house. The moon is in the 11th house, in Banff, on the cusp. This is where the moon is, okay? Here's Juno, right? Juno's right there. I'm with my roommate, okay? I'm with my roommate, retrograde, right? The roommate retrograde, the Uranus, like the Juno is the one-on-one relationship, okay? Here's Juno at 20 degrees. It's conjunct my Uranus, okay? This is what I'm doing. Juno is conjunct this. And then, what am I looking here? I'm looking at a moon at 17 degrees, 38 minutes, okay? It's in the 11th house. This is the Uranus house. I didn't know I was going to watch this kind of movie. This is all about what the partner wanted to watch, right? It's the group. What I'm doing is once I jump into the movie, the group that I'm observing, right? The individual I'm observing becomes my group. I'm with my mortal mind, my brain, I'm taking in the information from the group, okay? Because it's the 11th house of Uranus, of disruption, and of the group, and of hope for the group. Because the bright side of Uranus is the hope. The bright side of Uranus is the electricity that makes us make such a film, right? This is the bright side of Uranus. The dark side of Uranus is the disruption that we observe through the film, which is Neptune, right? And look at this. I mean, the Neptune cusp is at 26 degrees. At 26 degrees comes up again, right? It's Virgo. It's the cusp of the Neptune house, which is the 12th house. The cusp of that Neptune house is perfectly 10 minutes out. You know, look, but most importantly, it's an opposed Neptune, which is the film. But this Neptune at 25 degrees in this cusp is the axis for my moon, right? I have a moon in Pisces at 26 degrees, 50 minutes, right? Can you see my drift? Can you figure this out? This is where clairvoyancy comes from. Because it's in the bedroom, right? It's in my bedroom. It's in my bachelor suite that I'm observing this film about Pluto, right? Look at it. There's Pluto right there. And this is moon. This is the moon, right? When you watch the film, when I'm watching the film, what's the moon doing, right? Look at the moon. The moon's crossing over my Pluto, which is the death. You know, the Lord of Death, right? And then you watch that film, and you do the same thing. I guarantee you, you do the exact same thing. You do the exact same thing I've just shared with you. When you watch that film, you write down when you start watching it, and then you write down when you stop, and then you look at how the moon and how everything, you look at the timing, because it has the film will have a different message to every single person, and it will affect the house and the position and the planets of the house, or the planets of the chart. You know, that degree, that moment of time, right? It's the transits. Our moments are transiting. Our memories are transiting, right? This is where astrology and clairvoyancy become one. I get so upset when astrologers say that you can't be clairvoyant with your astrology. Or astrology can't give you clairvoyancy. Now I'm going to show you this right here. So this is the transits right here. This is where everything is, okay? What we have to do is we have to think about something. When we have to think about this, all right? Because you look where the Star of Bethlehem, I don't know if I have the actual chart up here right now. Let me see what I have here. I have a whole bunch of stuff coming up here. And this is what I'm going to... The star itself, I don't have it here. Maybe that's on my next one right here. Is there another panel up? Okay, here's the other panel. This is the panel of the release. Here's the panel of the release. Let me just go over this with you. If you do the star, right? If you look at the star for 2020, this is what I want you to do. This is how I want you to think about this, okay? This is what I want to show you clairvoyancy and give you the best predictive ability that any astrologer could possibly have, okay? There's no egos here. We're all astrologers. We're all on this earth. We're all observing the sky. We all should be one, okay? Look where the node is. The node is in the cardinal sign of 2 degrees, right? It's semi-sextile my sun, okay? 2 degrees Cancer, okay? Look where the south node is. 2 degrees Capricorn, okay? Capricorn is the sickle. Watch the movie. Look for the sickles. Look for the tail, right? Look, the sickles are all till the end, right? The sickles are the end, right? So you watch that. Dragon's head, dragon's tail. This is the release of the film, okay? Now look, this is very important because when this film was released, Jupiter had not conjunct Saturn yet, okay? Jupiter had not conjunct Saturn as of yet. Saturn is on the Aquarius ascendant, okay? Where is Saturn for this film? Saturn is where Pluto is now. It is where the sun is now. The sun has passed Saturn right now. The sun is on its way to this series event. So let's think about this. Let's look at what's going to happen. Let's look what's going to happen when the sun transits this series of this film, okay? 21 degrees Aquarius. Every single planet will travel that series. Because remember, a film release is like a soul, all right? It's like a fingerprint in time, right? This is a fingerprint. And astrology is all about different fingerprints mingling with each other when we shake each other's hands. And when I share you this, I'm shaking my hand with you, all right? I'm giving you clairvoyancy, okay? Because I'm going to show you this. Because when you look at this chart of the release date, Vista, the asteroid Devotion, is conjunct my ascendant, okay? Venus is trine my Uranus. The moon is sextile my Mercury, but that ascendant, which is the moon timing, that moon is, as the ascendant, is absolutely conjunct my Mercury, okay? And where's the moon, right? The moon is basically in my 12th house, right? Of karma, right? My Neptune house, right? But for this, it's the house of the group. That's where the moon is. It's 13 degrees. It's absolutely trine my Venus at like 11 degrees. You know, my 10 degree, 48 minute Venus, right? Man, these kind of films drive me crazy. But look, why do the films drive you crazy? Like, why do such films exist? Is you see Pluto mixing up with Mars, Jupiter pushing a whole bunch towards Saturn, which is the sickle. And you watch the movie, right? And then look where Mercury is. Look at this Mercury. Look for the release date of this. Look at the release date of this film. Mercury, which is my ruling planet, is opposed by Venus. This is how you have clairvoyancy, okay? Neptune is at 19 degrees Pisces, and it's sextile my Neptune in my 6th house of work, right? My 6th house of photographic studies. 19 degrees. And look where Chiron is. Chiron is at 5 degrees Aries. And look where the sun is, 7 degrees Aries. Now this is the trick of all of it, guys. This is what the Father wants me to share with you tonight. We all have a node. We all have an incarnation, okay? So, if we want to be great predictors, and this is how I'm going to end the podcast tonight, if we're going to be great predictors, right, when I pull all this stuff up, here we are now. We're all talking about what? I'm going to go through these charts right here. Here I have the moon. Okay, here's a full moon Scorpio. Here's moon in conjunct, okay? This is what we're all talking about tonight. We're all talking about this for the year to come. Because Jupiter and Uranus are going to conjunct, okay? And it's happening during a new moon cycles, right? Because before, I'm pretty sure, when the new moon actually happens, new moon Taurus happens, the conjunction is well under its way, right? And then what we got to look at here is this is the inconjunct. This is where you're going to learn that the inconjunct is what you should never forget before you look at the full moon, okay? Think about the inconjunct moment, because the high peak the high peak of the lunar cycle is going to play somewhere in your chart, and that 30 degrees before the full moon is the hurdle time, okay? It's that opposition. You know, you have to overcome the opposition, and it happens after the trine. Because like the trine is when you're running, everything's fluid, everything's going. Then you have to make the leap, which is where the inconjunct is. And then when you go over the obstacle, that's the opposition. And the square is kind of like the start, right? When you go from stationary to let's get some friction going, and then the friction's going, then you got a trine happening. A trine is nice, easygoing energy. And then you have to make that work, right? You have to make that obstacle, which is the opposition, which is the full moon. That's generally how it works when you watch any kind of major event. It's generally during the inconjunct, and the opposition is when the energy is happening. And when you have the clairvoyancy, you can see it. There's always oppositions, there's always squares, but the inconjuncts are very important because it's the friction before the opposition. It's what makes the full moon. The full moon is when the event comes forward. But before the event can come forward, you have to go through the inconjunct. So never forget about the inconjunct, okay? It's the funk. It's absolutely the funk. Once the inconjunct is done, then it's like the opposition's full on, right? It's at its peak. But the momentum is all about, the trine is all about, putting together a fluid energy to make the inconjunct work, right? To make the opposition. That's the solar system, right? That's the solar system to a T, right? And this is what we have to know. In our spiritual daily evolution, this is what we have to know. All of us have to look at the generational influence of Pluto, the 25-year period of Pluto, okay? Because what the Father wants me to let you know about is when we look at this film, when we look at the release of this film that I just lost here, okay? Here's the release. We know where the node is. We know where the north node is, right? We know where the south node is. We know where the north node is, okay? And the nodes are going in reverse, okay? And look where Saturn is. Saturn's at 0 degrees Aquarius. So let's think about how we can learn from a film filmed in Canada called The Decline, how we can learn in a film to better associate with each other for more honest trade. So once the node at 0 degrees Cancer for the release of this film, when it conjuncts Saturn at Aquarius, we're working better together, right? Because if we're gonna be working better together, or are we going to let that period? Because I think that's the time period, the immediate time period that we really have to look at, that we really have to prepare for when this node this North Node conjuncts this Saturn. Because we're swarmed by the words of our mouth, right? You watch the film. Okay? That's what I have to share with you, right? I mean, you got the charts. This is... I've just shown you, because once the film was over, the moon had finished. Once the film was over, I want to look at this, right? Once the film is over, this is the universal time. Once the film was over, the moon had finished its transit over my Pluto. And it's very important to watch the film, right? Because the Uranus, I mean, all this right here is what makes me inspired. This power, this energy in the fifth house, this solar power. The fifth house is ruled by the sun. And here's the mortal. Here's our mortal world illuminating these, and it's below the horizon. I mean, the fifth house, right? The fourth house is the kitchen. The fifth house is the domicile, like the bedroom. And I was observing with my material eye, which is ruled by the moon, right? Being a moon in Pisces. And then the moon in Pisces has natural affinity, with the moon, right? The Pisces sign, especially with my Pisces. And look how the moon is, because the moon is... It's starting its opposition. It's starting its inconjunct for its opposition. It's in its inconjunct opposition for my moon, right? This is clairvoyancy, folks. This is clairvoyancy through astrology. I hope you got something out of the cast, and I didn't make that much of a mess of the screen here. Okay. All the best to you. It's 11:18. You know what I mean? With clairvoyancy, we could be as clean as Martin Sheen. Ching.